Topic. What is the topic today? What would you like me to talk about? Any suggestions? Put them in the comments section, and I will be glad to speak about it if I know anything about it. If I don't, I'll just tell you I don't know anything about it, but I may research it and give you my opinion on it. I was thinking about that today. Before we begin, hit the like button and subscribe, and welcome to my 1,462 subscribers. Thank you for joining me. What I don't want you to find here, no, let's be positive. What I want you to find here is enlightenment, inspiration, and I hope to build you up. And one of the reasons I specifically am bringing that up this morning is because I was scrolling through my Facebook messages and notifications, and there was a coach on there that was warning people about someone else that was telling men to lie to women. So I decided I would check this guy out, and I did. And I didn't see the video where he's telling men to lie to women. I don't think you should lie to anybody. I think you can do things. If you don't want to say anything, you just say, I don't want to answer the question. Simple as that. Or just don't say anything, rather than lying, because lying doesn't hurt the other person as much as it hurts you. The liar only lies to himself, and especially if he is lying to someone who he has an intimate relationship with, which is what this guy wants to have an intimate relationship with. Sometime, somewhere down the road, he'll find someone very important to him lying to him about something. What goes around comes around. You reap what you sow. Truly is the way things go. It's kind of a rhyme, wasn't it? But I went and checked this guy out, and what this guy does do is he bad mouths a lot of other creators and cuts them down and takes bits and pieces out of their videos and uses them to degrade them. And I don't know if there's a lot of creators that do that, but if you don't agree with someone, there's a lot of people on YouTube I don't agree with, but I'm not going to make a whole video cutting them down. It's just, but these guys are popular, and a lot of people subscribe to their channel. I suppose they're making money. But at what cost? I've learned in life that, as I said, what goes around comes around. If I'm going to be bad-mouthing people, then guess what? People are going to be bad-mouthing me. And really what that is gossip. It's character assassination. And have I never gossiped in my life? Of course I have. But I've learned that it can be very destructive. And I certainly don't want people gossiping about me, although I know they probably will, and people have. It hasn't really harmed me in any way, but the intention behind the gossip, what is the intention behind that? Is it a selfish motive? It usually is, either to glorify myself or to get something out of other people from cutting this person down. It's just very important in life, and I heard this one time. I think Brian Tracy taught this. Don't say anything about anybody that you wouldn't want printed in the newspaper. And I need to renew that in my mind, because sometimes I do say things that I wouldn't want printed in the newspaper. I do my best to say nothing about anybody that I wouldn't say to their face. And that too is what this reminds me of when creators are bad-mouthing other people, other creators. Would they say that to these people's face? Probably not. It reminds me of the keyboard warriors. They say things, it's like they troll around looking for people to push their buttons or to cut them down. And these very people, if they met you on the sidewalk, they would walk around you. They would give you the right of way. They wouldn't think of saying anything to you to your face. Excuse me. But I realize there's a lot of people in life that feel powerless, like they have no direction, they have no power in their lives, they don't have any significance, and they want to have some kind of feeling of control in their lives. So if they can make a comment or talk badly about someone and get a reaction out of them, they feel like they have some power and control, when in reality they don't. He who controls himself is greater than he who takes a city. If you can't control yourself, you certainly can't control anyone else. But I think sometimes these people believe if they get a reaction of someone, or even from another subscriber or from someone commenting, they feel like they actually have some power over people in their lives. So I have to try to be, how do I say, understanding of people like that. It's just not what I want in my life. Now, am I going to get on my channel and specifically name these people and badmouth them? No, I'm not, because then I would be doing the very same thing that I'm talking to you about that I don't like. But now the reason I noticed this morning is because about a week or two ago, I was on a show with some other people, and they showed a clip of a creator, and I disagreed with what this person said. I didn't badmouth her specifically, but I said, get them off there. I can't stand to listen to it. But even that, I didn't feel good about that, because this person may be honest and may be really expressing what they believe to be true. And maybe it is true for some people. But I thought, is that what I want to portray? No, it's not at all. So I feel like for me, that was wrong. Maybe some of these people get on there and can do this and they actually feel, there again, that goes back to this. Sometimes people can do things that are right for them that would be very wrong for me. So it's possible some of these creators feel like they're helping other people by what they believe to be as exposing these people. But I have to say it's limited and short-sighted, because there's so many variables that go into a person's character. It's hard, even if I disagree completely with what the person is saying, this person may believe what they're saying, and there's so many variables in life that I don't really know whether this person is purposely doing something that is blatantly wrong to just try to get money or to get people's attention, or whether they believe what they're saying, or whether maybe what they're saying there's some partial truth and it will help somebody. It's so hard to judge by the evidence of our senses, because we can't see the whole picture, the big picture. It just bothers me. So, but I have to look in my own life. I couldn't see it if I had not done that, or actually thought about doing it, or done it in my mind. We cannot see things that we don't have living within inside of us. If there weren't some of that within me, I couldn't see it in someone else. Criticism. Yeah, there it is right there. That's something I've struggled with most of my life, is being critical of other people. Maybe not openly or blatantly saying anything to them, but speaking about them. That's something I've really had to be aware of and watch. My mom was very critical, so I picked up that habit from her. But I can't blame mom. I'm a big boy now, so it's up to me to do something about it. But anything that you recognize in other people that you don't like, it doesn't mean you're specifically doing it exactly as they are, but you're doing that somewhere in your life. And as I'm speaking to you now, I'm realizing that's probably why this bothers me, because I too am critical of people. When I go out, it's almost like I have a radar that looks for things wrong about people. I don't like that about my character, but it's one of the burdens I carry. We all have character defects. Now, if I could just get that away with a snap of the fingers, I would wonder why, if you were a drinker, a drugger, or you cuss a lot, why you couldn't stop that. What's wrong with you? I got rid of my character defects just easy. No, these things we have to accept about ourselves. Now, it doesn't mean we have to practice them, but it's something that gives us resistance if we're trying to be more or better or tap into power within us, these things actually block us. Me being critical of other people, it doesn't hurt them, it hurts me. It blocks off the power I need to express and to do what I came here to do in this life. And I think one of the things I came here to do is to help people understand themselves, to enlighten, inspire, and build up humanity. Well, guess what? Being critical of people does not build up anyone. Now, there is constructive criticism. I have friends today that tell me what I need to hear, not what I want to hear. I had someone tell me once that a good friend that I needed to get comfortable in my own skin. I didn't understand what he meant. It kind of pissed me off. But years later, when I became comfortable in my own skin, I realized what he meant. I always thought I had to have a woman or something. Usually it was a woman, so I would feel okay. And I've gone many years single many times, and I've had long-term relationships, as much as up to 12 years. And I've had short-term relationships, 1 week, 1 night, 5 years, 2 years, 3 years. So I've done both. And after all these years, I'm 62 now, I realize what he means. I'm in a position today where I like the company of a beautiful woman. And I will go out with a woman maybe once a month. I go out of the country. I don't date in the U.S. Not that I'm saying I wouldn't date in the U.S., but I like the cultures that are somewhat like what we had here maybe 50 years ago. And when you go into the less developed countries, it's more like it was here 50 years ago. We've become, how do I say it? We're just different here now than we were. So, I like more traditional, all right? Some people call me misogynist because I like more traditional. Do I think a woman should be in the house barefoot and pregnant? No, I don't believe that crap. But I want a woman who still respects me as a man and realizes that I'm a man and she's a woman, and we each have our roles to play in life. Now, I'm not saying a woman shouldn't go out there and become successful in a career if that's what she wants to do. But that's not the type of woman I desire. Everybody's free, especially here in the U.S., to do what they please. I know a lot of people talk about oppression here, but they don't know what oppression is until you go out in the big world. We are very free here. We can do pretty well whatever we want to, thanks to our veterans and people who have given their lives to give us all this freedom, including myself. I got off on a rabbit trail there. What was I talking about? I forgot. But, I know, creators. Yeah, okay. I can go off down a rabbit trail a long ways. But, so, we always must remember that if we see someone that annoys the hell out of us, or that gets under our skin, there's a high chance that we do the very same thing in some area of our life. Maybe not exactly the way they're doing it or what they're doing, but in some area of our life we have done it, or we are doing it, and we can recognize it in other people because it's first within ourselves. So we always need to look back within ourselves. We project ourselves out there. Many times we get angry at people for doing the very thing we're doing because we don't really want to look within. Most people want to blame. Okay, we got to take the word blame out of our vocabulary because that will never get you anywhere. That is kind of a victim mindset. I'm kind of like Tate. The guy said that Andrew Tate said that he takes full responsibility. If he gets struck by lightning, he takes full responsibility. That sounds extreme, and he does use a lot of extreme examples, but sometimes you have to use extreme examples because people don't get it unless you use something extreme. People nowadays are so used to, how do I say, I don't want to say magnificent, but extremes. It's got to be something really shocking or outlandish before they really take note of it. We have somewhat deadened senses because of all the input we're getting in. And I agree. I take responsibility for my life. And until I did, I was controlled by outer circumstances, but now I'm not. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes when things go wrong, like I can't find my
Visine before I do a video, I instantly want to think the kids came and took it, because they have came a couple times and took it, have come a couple times and taken it. I used to teach English, so I catch myself speaking badly, so I try to correct it. So I'm like most of us, I want to blame, of course I do. That's my first reaction, but that's a reaction. You can override that with the intellect, with the conscious mind. That's what it's for. You stop and ask yourself, hey, is it possible you put it somewhere else? Is it possible this isn't their fault? Is it possible I brought this into my life somehow to show me something about myself? It always comes back to you. And until you realize that, you will never grow. Because you can't change people out there. Hey, I spent years trying to do that. I still catch myself trying to do that sometimes. It doesn't work. You can only change yourself. And when you change yourself, the outer world miraculously changes. It's amazing how that works. Even if you have an enemy, someone you don't like, let's say you work with someone who just annoys the hell out of you. If you can do the best you can to take your mind off of what they do or the part of them or their characteristics that annoy the hell out of you, and find something good about them and focus on that, those people many times will miraculously change right before your eyes. I know it sounds impossible, or how could that be? But it happens. I've experienced it. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. Or if you change the way you think about things, the things you think about will change. Because you're focusing on the good. When you focus on the bad, that's what you see in them, and that's what you bring out of them. People will be what you believe them to be. Now, if they don't change, somehow miraculously, they will disappear out of your life. It happens. You have to try it, but you have to be diligent. Yeah. You have to be diligent about focusing on the good, because you can find something good in everyone. If nothing else, he's good at annoying you. Well, you may not want to work on that, but something good about it. You can find something good in everything. It's much easier to find something bad in everything and everybody. That's what's pushed on us every day through news, media. Everything is terrible. There are many, many people in the world doing acts of love, charity, kindness, but it doesn't make headline news. Excuse me. You have to seek out the good. The negative is shoved down your throat every day. But I'll guarantee you, if you make a diligent, there's another word I want to use, I can't think of what it is, effort to focus on the good, you will bring more of that good into your life, and thus you will have a better life. It's really just as simple as that. But it takes willpower, strength of will. And that's where willpower comes in. Not so much to try to change other people, to force things to happen, but to force your mind to think of only what you desire and keep it off of what you don't desire. And when you recognize something you don't desire, realize that it's coming from within you, and you have the power to change that. That's all I have time for today. If you would like to get my help personally, marksinspiration.com is my website, and I am offering half off of consulting in September. So we're going to go. Take care. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time.